day, and so it's important to him. He wants to know all the details that you're coaching so that he can get better and better and take what's being told in the meeting to the practice field. So he's been good.
And then Tim mentioned about the emphasis of blocking for your receiving group. How do you implement that?
Well, first it starts with a willingness, and we said that, told guys that day one, like within the system, if you're not willing to block, then the whole thing doesn't go. And you have to be willing. It's part of your job, where you define the job, and that's part of it. And we talk about in the room being a complete player, and that's value in every part of your job. And so the willingness needs to be there, and then the technique within it, that's what we do on the practice field, understanding, okay, am I on a cutoff block? Do I have to wash it down? What's the rules that I'm working here? Am I working with somebody? And then the last piece to it is once you have the willingness, you have the technique, the understanding how to do it, then what gets fun is seeing the play pass work off of it. And guys start to see that, like when they get in there and they're starting to affect it and impact the run, now, okay, all of a sudden we got a chance to have some explosive plays in the play pass. So tying those all together, but first things first is you got to be willing to do it.
Was there a moment in practice where you've seen a guy demonstrate that willingness to give up his body on a block?
I've like, I think there's been moments where lots of guys have done it. They've gotten themselves in a position. They're like I said, the willingness has been there. Really like Jacob Gill's a guy that's consistently doing it over and over. And Jarrett's throwing it in there. We just throwing it in there. Like there's guys that are, and because they're starting to feel it. They're starting to feel what that can do for the run game. There's some explosive runs there, but then also, like I said, what it does for the play pass game as well.
What's it been like being the receivers coach?
It's been a lot of fun.
Has it?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I'm so appreciative for the opportunity to be here and to be in this role and to have a group of guys in that room, continuing to build trust with them. But early on, it was getting to know them, and that's been a lot of fun for me. And you got a good group that likes to work together and likes to come out to practice every day and get better. And so I've enjoyed it to this point.
Is this offense more kind of wide receiver centric than past offense?
I think it's dependent on the jobs and the roles that guys earn, because you can mix and match within the formations. And so right now we're in the process of finding out what guys are good at, what they're consistently showing. And so the beauty within the system is that there's so many different formations that you can really get guys in a position to play to their strengths. And so it absolutely has the ability to, but we're figuring that out right now.
So anybody kind of jump out this so far in fall camp that's like, wow, okay, this guy's on the rise?
Yeah, I think we've had a few guys. We've had guys, Jacob Gill, who was an addition from Northwestern. He's had a great camp to this point. He's doing not only what he's asked to do and executing it at a high level, but also bringing a tempo with it that has been stressed and emphasized. Just the play, the consistency that he brings has been really good. And then Caden Weegan is having a really good camp. He's got legit speed, and which we know is a threat of his, and that's starting to show up. And his details are getting tighter, and he's getting more consistent within it. And then Jarrett Bowie is a guy that's been showing up. He's continuing. He's a guy that wants to take every coaching point so that he can improve that next day, and he wants to know exactly how should I attack this leverage? How can I take maybe what I did something the day before that didn't work and improve on it, and then you see it show up the next day. And I like what he's been doing. And then there's a few young guys too, between Reese Vandersea and KJ Parker. Those are two guys that are starting to get more and more opportunities, and they kind of know where to line up now, and now they're focusing on the details of the position and what their job is, and they've had some production.
What about Seth Anderson? What have you seen from him?
So Seth is a guy that I'm really excited about. He's had a little bit of a hamstring that he's kind of working through, but expect him to be back in the near future, and he's a guy that I see having a big impact on this thing this fall.
What's intriguing or interesting to you about the Tim Lester offense?
Just all the pre-snap, what you're doing in the pre-snap between motions, formations, condensed splits, open splits, everything within it. But the nice thing is it's a consistent picture. You're really getting to a lot of the same concepts. There's a foundation to it, but the way that you present it and what the defense sees, there's so many different variations that you can present it. That's been fun.
One of the things I've heard is that Tim's very receptive to what you guys are telling him. Feedback kind of things. How important has that been?
It's been great. He's a great leader. I think he's very knowledgeable and he's very confident in what we're doing, and he's also very, like you said, very receptive to thoughts and ideas, and it's been a lot of fun to work with him.